I keep turning my camera off to do this. I keep turning it off, turn it back on. I'm so not used to having the camera on. Thought about something. Around this time of year, 24 years ago, was the first time I ever shot a gun. 25 years ago. You do math. 20, no, 22. That's 20. I'm fucking too baked. 25 years ago. Okay, so I'll correct that in the title. 25 years shooting guns. That's cooler actually. It's a notable occasion. This is a dual video. Um, I've been shooting guns for 25 years. Owning guns, modifying guns, trading guns. That's lots of that. I'll get into more of that in a second. But James Yeager just died. And I never went and took his classes. Flat out didn't. He had quite an internet presence and ego I didn't like. I liked his information that he put out on the internet. I just never cared for some of the shit that went with it, basically. And I don't know. Had we met in person, we probably would have got along. I don't hate him, and I don't fucking enjoy his death. But also, he was a complicated person, so I neither hate nor love him. But one of his big things was, track record and what you've done and whatever. So I figure I'll make that video in James Yeager's honor. What have I been doing for 25 years with guns? Shit, I really need something to drink. Oh. Well, okay. Oh, yeah, shit. I had McDonald's chicken nuggets earlier, which you'd be like, well, that's not healthy. Well, of the things that I could do cheap for lunch, and when I say lunch, I had lunch at 11 o'clock at night because I'm a weirdo. But 24 years of shooting guns. 25 years, actually, sorry. Where to start? My grandfather, I talk about him on here a lot, but he was a captain in the Marine Corps, and he believed that every young man should know how to shoot. In fact, he believed that every young man should know how to do many things. I was never in the Boy Scouts because my grandfather put me in the Cub Scouts. That lasted about 5 minutes before he couldn't take it anymore and just said, fuck it, we're going to go do our own thing. And he made me watch Jeremiah Johnson and gave me fucking 22 for Christmas. I was 7 years old. It's a single shot Marlin Model 7Y. I kept it for a very long time. I do not regret selling it. I sold it along with pretty much any other gun that I really had big attachment to like that I never used, because I don't have anyone really to give them to. And like for the people that I do have to give those things to, I would buy them different things other than those guns. And I get the sentimental, whatever. Yeah, okay. I'd rather get you a really, really cool gun that's modified out and like things are done to it that your grandfather would have liked. I'd rather do that than fucking give you that piece of shit. And like ideally do all of it, but like I knew my gun collection was going to be living out of uh, that black bag right there up against the wall at some point, and you can't take everything with you. You just can't. I have a couple of collector kind of things right now, like black powder revolver. I see some things here and there I want, but I'm trying to keep it small. Anyway, uh, he put a lot of time and effort into teaching me to shoot and taking me shooting because basically when he took me shooting at 7, I was good. Like, I've always been a fairly good shot, and the more I practice, the better I am. And the thing I wasn't very good at was handguns. And the things that I've done in the last 10 years have fixed that. But go look at Instagram uh, and watch all of the posts of me tinkering with guns. There's like 6,000 posts, probably 1,000 of which are gun related. Sorry. Um, Maybe 2,000. I don't know. There's a bunch of gun shit in there. They're like, at least every other post is something about guns or knives or some bullshit. But between that and actually going and shooting, I haven't been doing that much lately just because the world's been weird and money's weird and, you know, I'm sure it's all weird. We're weird all over. I have guns that I need to go shoot right now, and I'm gonna go do that as soon as I have them where I want them. But the things I can't decide: do I put the little micro optic back on this and test it, or do I just enjoy this like it is? Because we're gonna go to an indoor range, my uncle and I, and it would be nice to actually put that on paper and play with it with that micro optic. So I might do that. And then there's this thing, which is just badass. It's my new alien pistol. So whenever that happens, I'll take some more videos of range shit or whatever. I tend to take videos, at least some sort of videos, every time I go to the range. But like over the years, I've just gone less and less because financially our country's gone to shit, basically. I'm sure you can relate. In what was that? Shortly after that, I took a hunter safety course thing that everybody takes, and then I did a youth gun safety thing with the NRA that then led into NRA small bore and NRA air rifle. Then sometime after that, I saw Saving Private Ryan. Probably before that, even a little, but somewhere in this chain of events was Saving Private Ryan, Visual Encyclopedia of World War II, watch a History Channel nonstop, which leads us to M1 Garand matches. We did that for a long time. My grandfather and I really enjoyed that, and various other things. We dabbled in high power a little, but I never did anything big with that. I can shoot. I can really shoot. Okay, the scope I have on my rifle is not, it doesn't have any fucking adjustments on it because I'm going to use Kentucky windage. I have a fucking duplex reticle. You should definitely be afraid. That's one of those things, like, you should not judge someone by exactly their equipment. You should judge it by, is it all quality and how much have they used it? Those are good signs of someone that actually knows like what they're doing or someone that might be dangerous. You know, if you see someone holding a black powder revolver and it's like half rusted and shit, that's one thing. If you see someone holding one that looks like this, that's maybe another thing. It's kind of, know the difference. You should know the difference between the dude with the black powder revolver who's never shot the thing and the dude with the black powder revolver who just has like whittled it by hand and made it perfectly and then fucking like performed the precision art of doing all the voodoo to make it work and whatever, like has dedicated themselves to that gun, I would be concerned. That's anything. Like if it's a spear and someone's dedicated themselves to it, I would be very concerned. And not like a shitty one, but like a good one. Like I made a little cold steel Bushman on a oak dowel rod thing. Like it's not long enough to be a spear really. It's like the length of Japanese the samurai bow staff is shorter than a regular one. It's about the length of one of those, but it's a spear. It's pretty cool. But that's kind of what all of that has taught me is like I've played with enough things that if you give me anything and give me enough time, I'm going to be very, very good with it. And, my preferences, I have preferences. Like this thing is a Colt revolver, not a Remington. A car. I like how I can just bring guns out of everywhere. You know, the 1911, I basically think pistols are pretty much useless. So why not have cool ones? And, if I do need a pistol, I think it's probably going to be this. Like, it's either going to be one of these two. Either I need something super, super tiny, or I need something that can, like, do some fucking work. So it's like, make up your mind. But after that, high school, I just kept doing competition shooting and shit. But in college, I got into anthropology, archaeology, and stuff, and through that found people that did World War II reenacting and Vietnam reenacting, and that was kind of fun, to be honest. Like, it's not like real or anything, but like the thing that we were doing for fun in college was doing fake long range reconnaissance patrols in the hills of Missouri through national forest, actually. But because the guy leading it was a former Army Ranger and like worked for the government in some other capacity and uh, something else. Oh, and was a student at the school and was doing it as like an activity or something for the history department. We got away with it. We got away with carrying live ammo and live M16s, fucking hills of Missouri. Pretty fucking badass. It was really badass, and like that illustrated to me that I needed to lose weight. That's what that did. And I've been trying to lose weight ever since then. And that was a long time ago. I'm not gonna say how long ago that was. There was a period in my life where I got so depressed I just said fuck it. And that happened in between there and there. That's how I got to be 630 pounds. We'll get to that. I'm not there. I'm not 630 pounds now. I'm like 310, somewhere in there. I kind of bounce around a little bit. I'm trying to lose, and I'm hoping to be below 3 consistently here pretty soon. And half of my problem, I was saying the other on another one of these, was I actually have a lot of muscle, like, or used to. Like, estrogen is helping with that. And the muscle weighs more than fat, I think. I think that's half of why I was so fucking heavy. Anyway, uh, so next gun thing, post that really, the thing that kind of brought that to an end was various things. I'm not going to get into that, but I ended up teaching for the Boy Scouts of America one summer with Blazer, my friend, and that was fun. I have a bunch of actual experience teaching people to shoot, which is cool, and they're kids. And honestly, I was teaching kids to shoot shotguns. And as someone to do that, I think I was perfect because I was giant and fearless and had the fastest hands on earth. Like, I was standing next to these kids while they're doing that in their little box holding the shotgun. And like, the fear is, okay, little Timmy's a psycho. Little Timmy takes the shotgun and just murders everybody, right? So like, I was on my toes a little bit. And the Boy Scout thing was never let them load more than one round in the tube-fed magazine shotguns. Blah, blah, blah. First day, I loaded the full tube full, put one in the chamber, held 3 in between my fingers on this hand, and like had one in my mouth, and just set the trap on automatic and wobble, and just proceeded to like kill clays until I was out of ammo, and then I turned it off and started the lecture or whatever it was for the little first day thing. It's fun. It establishes some like dominance or whatever, right? But I did that a bunch. Blazer did most of the rifle instruction stuff. I helped him with that a little bit, but that wasn't my thing. I know how to shoot rifles probably better than Blazer does, but he wanted to do the rifle thing. And the rifle thing, you had way more control, and it was way more of a Blazer thing. Like, we're yin and yang in many ways. I'm like anarchy, controlled chaos, and he is like control. But sometimes you need a little controlled chaos. Sometimes, if you're too controlled, you don't get the right shit. Just my opinion. That's why we work so well together, because I need blinders and he needs to have fun. And like, when he's around me, we're always gonna have fun. When I'm around him, we're always gonna get shit done. It's like superpowers unite. Miss him. Anyway, after that, I went to work for some people, some places, and did some people with some things, or whatever Ilhan Omar said. And I ended up slinging night vision with somebody, and I liked that. I was building PVS 7s and PVS 14s and selling them. So that's a skill that's in my toolbox. I've played with pretty much every night vision thing in inventory. If you watched Garand Thumb's video on thermal weapons camouflage and shit, the Coddies that he showed you, go back on my Instagram page like 5 years ago. Guess what you'll see on my page, bitch? 5 fucking years ago, when the only people on Earth that had it were Tier 1. Guess who had it? You know why? To quote my old boss, you guys, you're the tip of the spear, right? Well, we make that spear, and this is my equipment. So, like, his whole thing was, I'm going to be the predator. Which I encouraged. I was like, yes, I will help you in this quest, sire. How do we do this? I'll start working on stealth tech, I guess, because, like, that's next. But it's great. I loved working there. I'm still friends with him, but we had kind of a falling out, so it's one of those things. Um, I miss some parts of doing that, and I don't miss some parts of doing that at all. But stuff like what I was just talking about, I miss quite a bit. I want to be the predator. He had a fucking filter on his PEC 15 that made it a triangle. Which, of course, as soon as I saw that, I had to have one too. It's like, I remember he made me use the filter that was the circle instead of the fucking triangle. So it's like, that one's mine. Like, fine. So we parted ways. It was like, click, 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 click. No, I have a triangle, bitch. Fuck you. So all throughout that, I was gunsmithing, fixing night vision, building night vision. Um, I made my own 1911. I built my own Browning automatic rifle. Every gun from Vietnam or World War II that you ever cared to own, I've owned it. Go look on Instagram. This is why you should listen to me about guns in a nutshell. This is why, despite being a fucking tranny, I actually know what I'm talking about. Unlike most of the people on YouTube who talk about guns, I've actually been paid to do this shit for a living. And have managed to, like, squeak out an existence making knives or fucking gunsmithing or fucking working for somebody like that pretty much my whole life. Like, I mean, currently I am entertaining offers to strip clubs, or I don't know. There's a place in Reno that wants to hire me, but I don't think I would like it there. I don't know. I might. Depends on how much money it is, really. Who doesn't want to be a blowjob puppet for $20 million a day? Like, you can do that for a week or two. Hell, I could do that for a few years. I just ship all that money to Blazer and have him start building shit. Have him a sugar mama. Anyway, then between working for him and now, I've been making knives and living off of savings and trying to sell some knives, and like I'll buy, sell, and trade some things to fund hobbies and whatever. And like I kind of live like a monk, and like I made $26,000 off a car last year because of the weird market and shit. Like, assuming that the US dollar is not, going to go to shit and like we all die in some apocalypse, when you live kind of like a monk that has a self-supporting gun habit thing, I don't know how to put that, but like if I sell something, I don't ever use all of that money for guns. I usually like take some off the top to use for like, hey, I want to go out and eat. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm going to take 300 off the top, and then we're going to see what we're going to buy. That kind of a thing. And a lot of people see that as like downgrading, but you don't get how I buy guns. I got going to gun shows and being like, what's cool and cheap? It's fun. Like, I ended up with this thing. It's a perfect example. This is a limited edition, second year of production car, MK9. Steel frame car. These are high-end pistols. Has night sights, 3 mags holster in the box. I paid $400. And why? Well, because it was a used gun at a gun show in Oklahoma at an FFL. And no one here likes cars. And it's just an old beat up car to most people. This is a collector's item of cars. It will be. That's cool. And whoever I eventually pass this on to in some way, like if I sell this, I'd probably sell it to a gun shop. That's where I tend to sell things usually. Either that or just dump it out at Wanamaker randomly. If it's a cool painted thing that I think is like going to be an art piece someday that like will be matching to pictures. And is this the actual one? Not that I have a high opinion of myself, but I hope that my like gun art pieces are eventually worth something. It would be cool. Like I've been doing this for a while. I don't modify everything, but like there's a bunch of cowboy guns that the only way to prove they're ones I did is to find the pictures. Other ones too were like I did it and gave it to somebody. I just think it's cool. And as long as you're doing it with 4473s or someone that you know isn't a felon or selling it to a gun shop, like honestly anymore, that's my advice to you. If you're going to sell a gun that you don't want anymore, I take all of my guns to sell to a gun store in Tulsa and sell them there. Usually not a pawn shop. The actual gun stores will usually do better. If you have a cool collectible gun, I like Sooner Guns in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They're at 71st and Mingo, 61st and Mingo, somewhere like that. And he's a good guy, and he has a cool bunch of guns in there. And he has that bunch of guns because he pays legitimately good prices for them. He will pay you more than anyone else for it, and he'll add 10-20% to that, and that's what he sells it for. And that's a good guy. Anyway, I am really baked. The I don't know really what I'm going to be doing now. I'm trying to figure that out, and I'm continuing to do art projects while preparing for the end of the world. I honestly I keep pitching to Fluxrator, hire me, please. Like when you see this when it's done, it's gonna be fucking dope. Like it's kind of incomplete right now because this looks weird, but I'm making a thing to complete this, and then I'm doing more to the paint job and adding more widgets. It's gonna be bitching. It's gonna be like something out of Halo. It's gonna look cool. It's one of those like I think honestly, Flux would be smart to make this. Make it without that back end thing. Like keep the optic mount, but get rid of the brace, get rid of the holes for the brace. Make it just this. Because a lot of their like work to build this thing is in this whole contraption mechanism back here, I guarantee you. This is one of the slowdowns of the process. Just putting paint on these rails slowed down the stock to the point it didn't work. So, sorry, I keep getting distracted, but it's fun. And, the thing that I haven't done videos on yet that I should do is I've been carrying a gun this entire time, right? And I went from being male to female in my dress. So that was interesting. Very interesting to carry a gun. My main solution is put in a purse. My other main solution is bra holsters. They have one called the Maryland that like it puts one right here like a little shoulder holster, and like I'm gifted and I could hide a fucking Desert Eagle in there probably. So I tend to do that. And it works. Like I actually prefer that to almost any other carry method I ever used. I need to get a holster like that for this thing, but soon. Right now, it just has a pocket holster and gets thrown in the purse. It could get thrown in the pocket holster and tucked in there, but I don't really feel secure about that. Um, Other shit that I've done. Oh, selling night vision and guns and stuff, like between that and international travel, I've gone a lot of different places and seen a lot of different people. And I was an anthropology student. I wanted to be Indiana Jones. I know I'm a nerd, but you know, this is kind of an Indiana Jones bag. And I keep this hat for Blazer in there so he can be my short round. I love you, man, and anyone else who made it this far into the video, you too. It's been an interesting 25 years of doing this, and I can't imagine guns not being a part of my life, but I'm glad they are not my entire life like they once were. Thanks for watching.